IPL 5. Welcome to IPL 5 Ohana.
The infamous Proto-Mutalisk. Okay, folks, here we go. This is Ohana, and this guy right here is going to have to fight pretty hard from this position to stay in this tournament and capture that desire to get that win for his birthday. Let's find out if he can pull it off. In the northwest position, in the red trunks playing Zerg, he is
Azubu Violet.
Violet with a secret weapon there. He seems to have deployed the Chia Cannon. But his opponent needs no secret weapons. Down to the southeast position in the blue trunks, also playing Zerg. He is
FXO Leenock.
Both of these players are so consistent within StarCraft 2. I mean, you see a lot of champions come and go, but Leenock and Violet have always been there. They're always in tournaments. Leenock has been in more finals than I can count. And then he's won 2 major tournaments as well. He's won 2 MLGs. He's looking for his 3rd title here. Violet as well has won 2 major titles within StarCraft 2. He won the Intel Extreme Masters. He won a Spring Arena as well. And you know, those tournaments aren't quite as prestigious probably as the 2 big main ones that Leenock has won. But whoever wins this is really good. This goes up there as probably their biggest achievement within StarCraft 2 if they are able to win this tournament.
And just consider the road that they take to took it. I mean, we're not talking about people that just had to play a couple of games here. These guys had to smash their way through the entire tournament to make it. And we're talking about a tournament where even round 1 was super stacked to the point where favorites were being eliminated by the time that they got down to the lower bracket round 1. It was insane.
Absolutely, and just looking at the results these 2 players have had throughout this tournament, and not looking specifically at map results, but who they've managed to beat. Leenock's beat StarTale Live, he's beat the SDC, he beat Pol, he beat Violet, of course, in the previous game. Leenock hasn't had to play as many games as the majority of players here because he really has just gone straight through the winner bracket, less amount of games. Violet, though, you know, he's beaten Todd, Lucifron, Innovation, Snood, Liquid Hero, Symbol, and then Pol, as we just saw. So both of these players are playing in a 72-player tournament of the best players within StarCraft 2, and it's down to the final 2. Already a massive achievement.
I don't know what the heck they're feeding Violet over in Texas, but someone's been feeding that Overlord as well, by the looks of it. Wow, nicely done. Oh, he's not pleased, and rightfully so. And Leenock's also got a couple of Lings into the base right here.
Both of these players, bit of banter. They are friends, as mentioned earlier. And these 2 Lings will die off eventually. Yeah, they didn't really do much. You know, they wasted a tiny little stitch of mining time, a little bit of scouting in here and there. Now, Leenock completes his Baneling nest nice and early on. It lines up quite nicely with speed as well. Will we once again see Leenock be the aggressor? Oh, yeah, 10 Lings on the way here. Yep, definitely. 6 drones for Violet. So we'll see how this is going to shape up. 4 drones making for Leenock. We'll see if he's going to continue to build Lings. At this point, you always want to be building a certain amount of Lings. Usually that certain amount is between 6 to 10. And that's basically comfort Lings. If, for example, either one of these players was to make a massive surge of Lings, you need some Lings to just morph the Balings immediately or you die, which is why you always see a certain amount of Lings being built at that time. We didn't see any committal to Ling building here, so just a little bit of poking here from Leenock, not looking to get too much damage done.
Well, there's 4 Banelings out, and if you could trade efficiently, that would be great, but not really able to do a huge amount there thus far, except for that. You know, that was a Wow. Oh, dear Lord. We need to see some hold commands coming in right here from Violet because he's losing. Oh, he just lost all of his Banelings to a couple of Lings. That is a really bad trade.
Yeah, and he saw that late layer as well.
Yeah, he did.
He saw it morphing at the very point there with that Link going in. And he's got such a fast layer here. Because of this scout, Leenock may decide to go Spire because the Spire play would be a good choice, I think, here. Simply because if you think about it, the opponent's layer is so late. If they were at the same time, the Infestation Pit would be coming at a decent time like the Spire. But because it's so late, the Infestation Pit's going to be quite away from coming in this game, which I feel Violet has to go for now because of his later layer. And Leenock's going to look to build about 8 to 12 Mutals, depending on how intensive he wants to play it, then start to pick his opponent apart, fall back to Double Evolution Chamber, fall back to Roaches, and I really like this play from Leenock.
Yeah, it really does encapsulate what Leenock is all about. And not just in this matchup, in every matchup, that aggression. But it's not just uncontrolled fury. It's this really nice aggressive behavior that is meted in the best possible way. And Violet's careful. Oh, well, the detonation goes off right there and doesn't kill the Banelings, actually slightly out of range. So the trade, not as good as Leenock would have liked, but I don't know what it is about Violet's Banelings, but they are not having a good day.
Both of players are at 45 to 50 drones, 2 base saturation. They only build Lings at this point. In Zerg vs Zerg, mineral income is not a really big thing here. It's all about the gas. You don't need a lot of drones early on. So both of these players using the lava just to build Lings. And you're not just going to sit back at home with your Lings. You're going to do something with them. So right now we are seeing Leenock try to break through, but Violet with a really good defense.
Yeah, so far it's been pretty solid, although he hasn't really been trading that efficiently with the Banelings. He's now going to have to deal with the new threat, the airborne threat of the Mutalisk, which is on the way. And once again, decent trade right there for Violet. That was good. You know, 2 for 1 is absolutely fine.
Mutalisk in combination with Lynx here could bring down that third base of Violet. He's going to have to be very careful. Of course, he wants to clear up his own and hopefully not lose it. That Queen does have a transfuse available just at the very last second.
Nicely pulled off right there. Oh, very, very good indeed. Still taking a few hits, but it looks like that will be held.
Yeah, it should be held here. I mean, he may try to run behind and get the hatchery, but it would be a big risk.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a risk that is worth taking. Depends on when he decides to do it. I mean, Roaches would be an ideal possibility for that.
Yeah.
But when not actually seeing a, well, yeah, we've got a range upgrade coming in here. So we'll see Mr. Roaches coming in from Violet at the moment. Oh, here comes that run by we're talking about. And there is the surround coming in right there. And that very well might be enough to take it down. It's looking good. And there it is. Nice pickup right there for Violet, taking down Leenock's third base.
And he's brought himself enough time to get the Infestors out with Pathogen Glands. Queens are there too, Spore Crawlers. So I don't even think that Leenock's Mutalisk, because they've had to defend in this game, could do what he had originally planned with them. So I'm a little bit worried here for Leenock, who now is going to attempt what he wanted to do before. He's double expanding because he just lost his third base. But that third for Violet, it shouldn't go down here. And if he holds it and is able to mine from it, the Infestors, the more out, they're faster out here. He's going to have more energy. He's going to have better upgrades. I think Violet's in good shape.
I'd certainly say so. Leenock's control is exceptional, but it only takes one fungal to render control absolutely worthless. And the question is whether or not he'll be caught out in that position. He's wheeling around looking for an opportunity. The fungal goes down the Lings, and a nice one indeed it was. But that is the grab there on the Mutalisk. I don't think there's any chain possibility here, no.
No, they're a little bit too far away, but Leenock feels the threat of the Infestors, and it's really when you're in this playing position and you're like, oh god, I got fungled. Okay, I got away, and then you really don't want to go in again. Maybe just to poke in somewhere where you may feel the Infestors are not. For example, the main base.
Violet going for a nice run by, and he finds himself a little train of drones right here. Good damage coming in. Even actually goes for the Spine Crawler and runs right into the main base. So yet more little pieces of damage he's going to be able to do.
Ooh, he's...
well, no.
It's like just kind of sitting there like, are they going to do anything?
Yeah, there we go.
But these might. But oh, Nova's here.
Oh,
Leenock! He grabs them.
Nicely caught there by Leenock, and these Infestors throwing out as many Infested Terrans as they could. The ultimate anti-timing right there with the forward push into the natural is shut down nicely. Violet does have superior numbers in terms of those Infested Terrans, but looks like they're going to be shut down pretty quickly. It does take a Mutalisk for it, so that's not too bad. But honestly, the Mutalisk have done nothing this game, and with only 4 of them left, it might be time to consider getting out of that. And that's exactly what Leenock is doing with Roach Infester.
Yeah, I mean, both of the players have to eventually go back to Roach Infester, but Violet, with the lead, he sustained by getting that third base. Again, has the Hydra Den faster, has the higher Infester count, even though he did lose a few there without killing any of his opponents, so he did lose that lead a little bit, but he still has quite a few healthy Infestors out. As you can see, the energy is relatively high compared to Leenock's, who had to build them a lot later on.
Yep, that's certainly the case. And
ooh, the infested Terrans are going to kill that base.
Yeah, I think that's very much the case. It seems very unlikely that it's going to live. There's no real way to stop it. You certainly got to do it with Mutalisks, that's for sure. And the Mutas are just patrolling at the moment, looking for possibilities. He's found himself an Infester. A couple of Infested Terrans being thrown out. But what I'm interested in is that 4th base. The Infested Terrans are about to be deployed there.
Yeah, they're deployed and it goes down. So nice pick off from Violet. Even though the base wasn't really useful in this game, it hadn't really had anything mining there. But it was still, at the end of the day, 300 minerals that now is gone from Leenock's bank. So, because he's going to have to rebuild it. Hydra Den is down. 8 Hydras on the way. The composition is far superior here for Violet.
The question is, what about the upgrades, actually? We're seeing +2 on the way here.
I think they're both at +1. I mean, 1-0, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, at the moment, but +2 hasn't actually started yet here for Violet, so that could be a bit of a problem. That said, with that many Hydras on the field, it probably wouldn't make all that much difference. There's a nice little spot there for Leenock.
Yeah, I've found an Infester.
Yep.
Picks it off. But yeah, as you said, this +2 attack from Violet is actually a big mistake. I don't know why it's not being made. It has to be made. It will give Leenock an edge in the fight. It won't give him an edge if Violet moves now, because it's not ready yet.
Yeah, if he strikes at this point, then that'll be a nice timing. There's this huge difference now as a result of those Hydralisks. 10 Hydralisks is a massive amount. That's a great fungal to start off with right here, and an excellent concave prepared. The counter fungal is reasonable but not amazing, and a fungal on the Infestors to the right. Now that was nice. If you could chain it, that would be huge, and suddenly right now, Violet's actually run into a wall of pain.
Yeah, I mean, look at the roaches that Leenock hasn't even had touch yet. For the first time, they took them back. Damage. He brought them back. He uses Infestors. Great fungal there from Violet. Good turnaround fight here, and he's going to use Infestors. Even though they're fungal, this still should be a win for Violet.
You would think so. He's going to lose all those Infestors though, so that's actually kind of a big deal. But as you said, the Hydralisks really didn't actually get touched in that fight. So he's able to continue this aggression. Even off creep, it's great. But that's a nice fungal there. If he were to lose those Hydras at the back, that would not be good at all. The Infestor energy never seems to end right here for Leenock.
Leenock has always so many Infestors. He saves them as well, gets them out. But at the end of the day, he still lost the fight in the middle. These units, or the roaches, will regenerate a little bit and then go again. But Leenock has the Infestor energy to save up upon to really turn the tide of the battle.
That was rightfully pointed out there, of course, by the one and only Mighty Heaven. Hello, surprise! I bring you Hydras, which are actually terrible in close combat, but it's okay.
Yeah, Hydra's popped out there and like, oh, should have gone back down.
That was silly, wasn't it? But it was a nice little ambush. It was stylish, but it didn't, unfortunately, accomplish anything. In fact, it was actually bad for Violet because he lost those gas-heavy Hydras for no real reason. And now Leenock is able to power through the center here.
Yeah, one fungal.
Oh, hello,
those roaches are trapped. Oh, miscontrol again by Violet. It's been, we've actually seen miscontrol a couple of times here. But Violet has so much money because he's been untouched. He's got so much units. He's down to the third base with a handful of roaches as well. And that base is going down. So Leenock is going to lose and go to 2 bases.
Oh, yeah. Violet is in the base. And he can do whatever he wants to. He can take down the hatchery. He can go into the larder and see what's there. He could even steal 40 cakes. And that would be awful. But right now, we've got this horrible, horrible supply differential between these two. And you can see it. 150 and 155. Nice little fungal growth there by Violet. He's putting on this pressure. Third base goes down.
Yeah, third base goes down. Violet has a 4th with gases being mined from now and is looking like he's going to draw this series up with Leenock currently leading 1-0. Violet retreats home with his roaches. Job done as those roaches return back. And all he needs to do now is get all his army together and then go again with another 200 supply fight. But Leenock is fighting back from behind here. I don't think those Infested Terrans will do too much, and if the Infestors get trapped, which we're trying to see the fungal to pin them down.
Yeah, that wasn't so good, actually. That missed completely.
But they did get out. All the Infestors got out, which is a win situation for Leenock.
Yeah, absolutely. And Violet, unfortunately, didn't catch them. And now he's got Infestors that are going to be able to sit back there and start to regenerate energy. This harassment was fairly effective there by Leenock. There's still this supply advantage, however, for Violet. And Violet also sitting on 4 bases. Nice fungal on the ramp right there, and a good concave, and those roaches will die pretty quickly.
Yeah, they will die pretty quickly, and the supply lead's getting quite heavy here for Violet, as we can see 180 to 140, basically. And, well, things are moving forwards.
Once again, miscontrol here by Violet, something that Leenock can definitely take advantage of here, but Leenock is more interested actually in going right for that natural in the meantime. He's also going to be hitting the main base, and this is significant economic damage being done here by Leenock. He's all over the place. He's on the 4th as well.
Yeah, it's just all over the place, really utilizing it. And if anybody's going to come back, it's always going to be Leenock. He's shown it so many times in so many different tournaments. The Infestation Pit did go down, though. That's
a huge deal. The Roach Swarm is actually taking fire right there. Not sure if it went down as of yet. Hydra's desperately trying to defend those. Infestors absolutely useless here. The Roach Swarm did hold up, which is pretty critical at this stage. But as you said, the Infestation Pit will have to go. Oh my god, a couple of Roaches take down. Oh my god, that is fantastic play right there by Leenock. That should not have happened at all. And Violet just seems stressed here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make too much of a big difference. Of course, he can't mine gases from that base, but he already has all the layer tech he needs, Infestors and Roaches, so he's going to be okay. But if he loses this base, maybe not so.
No, let's see if that can actually happen. There's a lot of Infestors there. Great fungal growth right here from Violet, and I don't think his Roach is going to really be able to do too much at all. That attack's going to be absolutely crushed right there by Violet. He holds on to that base.
He holds on to the base and holds on to a supply lead too, as we see the Infestation Pit trying to get back into the game here for Leenock. A couple of Roaches that are borrowed at the back of that base for Leenock, and we'll see if he pops out. The Infestation Pit finally back and done. And looking at the unit tab here, we have 24 Roaches for Violet to 16, 8 Infestors again for Violet to 5. So he has a bigger army, and he is starting to bank this energy.
Yeah, going back up to Lair, of course, just in case he needs to, and he may very well. At this stage of Zerg versus Zerg, what tends to happen is that you'll actually see a lot of players deliberately go for sniping of key tech structures. So losing the lair and then realizing, oh, I can't rebuild the Infestation Pit, that's terrible, would not be good at all. And Violet just popping out right there, and a fungal to grab a couple of Roaches just to make sure that harassment doesn't happen. And it was vitally important because that base was really, really low here. Leenock with the run by, takes down one Roach in the drive-by right there, and it's now going into the natural expansion. Queen's going to fall immediately here.
Great distraction with those 3 Roaches. They were destined to die, so he pulled all the units across there, made sure they stayed, and now he's just looking to do damage with these Roaches. A handful of Roaches here from Leenock. He is going to lose every single one of them. He has a couple borrowed on the natural. Can borrow in the main. The Hydra Den's being targeted down. Of course, that's going to be quite... well, actually, he's not really building Hydras at the moment.
Not at the moment, but, you know, it's just one more thing he has to rebuild. It's going to cost him some gas, and if he suddenly needs Hydralisks out of nowhere, and at the 24-minute mark, we see that +2 coming in, and I think Violet finally realizes that he's missed out on that. The Infestor's now rolling on the way, and this is a surprisingly close game with Violet having no main right now.
Uh-oh.
I see what's happening.
Uh-oh. There's Novus here. All right, so he doesn't go all the way up. And he's not going to get too trapped here with Fungals, but that's a lot of Infested Terrans.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Violet somehow managed to sneak himself out of there. He's the Houdini of Infestors. It's really quite impressive. But now their fungal growth nails down for most of those Infested Terrans. Here comes the flank right here from Leenock, however, and Hydralisk caught once again out of position. They'll be targeted down almost immediately, but there may very well be too many Infestors here from Violet.
Yeah, we'll see, as he's got quite a few of these pinned down. Doesn't really have too much of a ground army to support the Infestors, though, because the units were split, coming from different directions. And we did see Leenock win quite convincingly.
Oh, Violet with a save right there. Good lord, those Infestors were under dire threat of being killed, but the reinforcement Roaches managed to stop it from happening. Leenock's Infestors, the immortal Infestors that refuse to die, are now moving once again with a Roach push. He wants that 4th base. He can smell its weakness.
A lot of Infested Terrans coming down here for Leenock. Is he going to be able to pull the comeback, which seemed like it was almost impossible? Drones are coming off the line. Violet needs to hold this.
Oh, great transfuse right there by Violet, and it looks like it's going to hold this once again, and Leenock just doesn't want to attack up there. Don't blame him with that many Infestors there on the ramp. And once again, he is denied the 4th, which he so much desires.
It's all about unit efficiency. Leenock is spending energy to kill units here. In the units lost tower, I was just looking at between the two, there's like a 4,000 resource difference in favor of Leenock here. He's got the higher Infestor count. He is regenerating more and more energy as the game goes on, but Violet has the stronger economy, the bigger army, as we can see.
Well, an engagement comes in. Oh, that ramp was... Oh, wow. Violet should be counting.
Leenock's got an amazing position here.
He does. He really, really does. They'd have to come down that ramp, which is a risk of a fungal growth, and he's going to come around the other side, which, of course, delays him, gives Leenock a chance to actually get a run by and engage on the 3rd, which is now where the lair is. At the moment, Leenock backing off, though, and I feel that was a missed opportunity there for Leenock.
Potentially, but he can't really take a big fight because he doesn't have enough army. But at the end of the day, is he going to have a bigger army eventually? I don't think so. He needs to rely a lot more on Infestors, more so than Violet. And are we just going to see money win the game? Because Violet is still mining from this base on the right-hand side, interrupted, and Leenock is starting to run out of resources.
Did Violet actually lose his spawning pool there, or is he actually building a backup?
Yeah, it was lost in the main base. Yeah.
Well, fair enough then. So, not that Lings are really going to be used in this scenario, but hey, it's nice to have it back. A lot more roaches on the way up here for Leenock, who has stabilized as best as he can, but I mean, we're looking at a max army right here. But you are versus a lot of Infestors with an awful lot of energy. So the question is, which is better, bigger army or a lot of energy on Infestors?
Violet needs to fight in an open ground area. Leenock, flip side, needs to fight in a choked area because he has the bigger Infestors. So we'll see where this fight's going to go. But Violet is starting to real stabilize against this aggression from Leenock, the burrow movement consistently. Leenock currently outside in the open. This is where Violet could strike, but of course he'd have to go down a ramp to get there, so Leenock not in immediate threat.
What's hiding there? Yes, you can see it, and there is a fungal growth on the left flank there. Pretty good. Oh, but a huge fungal right there onto Violet's army, and that is a lot of Infestors. The question is, can he actually deploy them in a situation that makes sense? Most of the Hydralists got grabbed there, so that's huge damage, and Leenock playing hit and run here. But he did take significant losses, and still, the army count lead remains here for Violet.
That's right, and he, you know, with his +2 attack that was just so late in this game.
Here comes the harassment, and, you know, it's a nice little piece. He's going to be able to grab quite a few drones here, and this is what he needs to do. He must keep picking at this army as best he can here. Going up the ramp is a huge risk. Why would Leenock do that? But it's actually mutually assured destruction, and it looks like the fungals for Leenock were significantly better. Most of the Infestors go down here for Violet. However, he needs to get out of there as quickly as he can. Deploying yet more Infested Terrans to do more damage, and
the numbers are too big. The numbers are too big now. The money in the bank is too big. He's got a lot of money to spend here. He's rebuilding 18 roaches compared to 3 from Leenock because he doesn't have the money. And Violet, through establishing this base on the right-hand side, through keeping it alive, even this hatchery is even misplaced there by Leenock.
Yeah, it was slightly out of position, which Hemendum accurately pointed out earlier, and it's a little bit of a problem. It's a minor issue when it comes down to mining speed, and when you're only on 3 bases up against a guy that's actually going for 5, the last thing you want is anything slowing down your mining at the moment.
And the longer this game goes on, the worse it gets for Leenock, who is being starved of money. He can't spend it. He doesn't have it. And Violet grows incredibly strong, and Leenock may be looking for the last opportunity to break this game.
And he would have to engage in that perfect area. Currently, he's moving into a reasonable position here. But if he can't fungal the whole army, then it's going to be grim one way or the other. That's a big clump right there. The fungals are big, but unfortunately the Infestors get grabbed here as well here by Violet, and they end up stuck on the front lines. And for once, we see Leenock actually losing Infestors in a big way. If he could only get one more fungal growth, but it looks like he's not going to. GG, ladies and gentlemen, and there it is after a long slugfest between these two. Violet is able to finally pull out the win on Ohana, tying this series up 1 game apiece.
And that's going to give him a lot of confidence going into the rest of the series now, especially as we talked before that map, he was down 4-1 overall against Leenock this weekend. Now he's starting to crawl back into the game. He's just proven himself he can beat this guy. And that's all the confidence you need.
Yeah, certainly, no question. I mean, this was a fairly long game for him, and he did very, very well to get to this stage. But he's got a long road to go yet, no question.
Definitely a long road to go. Leenock is so experienced. He's already, you know, when he played at the MLG not so long ago, it was in a Zerg vs Zerg final. He knows how it's played at this level. He knows what to do. And Violet, you know, likewise has a lot of experience too. So we'll have to see if he can go toe-to-toe with Leenock.
That's definitely a good question. And I have to wonder if we now start to see a differentiation in builds. We did see the Spire come out, and it was completely useless, essentially, for the entire game. And I wonder if that puts into the mind of Leenock, well, I should probably just play it safer. I know my Roach Infestor play straight up is better than this guy, so I can just fight him like that. And honestly, when the Mutalisks was shut down, it seemed like the entire game slowed down for Leenock. Everything he got was later as a result of having to invest in those Mutas and in the Spire. So he may choose to just play the standard Roach Infestor Slugfest game, or he might try something a little bit different. Just bear in mind, from the winner's bracket, he does have the advantage of being able to lose this series and then still go on to a best-of-3 to determine the winner.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll see how this is going to shape up. Leenock couldn't afford to lose that third base solo and just put him so far behind. But looks like we're almost ready to get into the next game here. And it is going to be on Daybreak.
All right, Daybreak. We've seen some interesting ZVZ and also some very long ZVZ. All sorts of things could happen here, but we're going to be back after this quick commercial break, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. The finals will continue right after this.